Christy Burns. I produce the Morning Review podcast for the Spokesman-Review and help coordinate Northwest Pastures' book club events and sometimes some of these forums. But like today, it's all about basketball. We need a little more basketball in our lives. And thankfully, we have Jim Meehan here, who is going to lead today's conversation. Jim.
Thanks, Christy, and welcome Drew Timme, Gonzaga sophomore forward now from Richardson, Texas. Coming off a great year, one of the best statistically that we've had or we've seen from a Gonzaga freshman big, right up there with some of the biggest names that have come through the program. So welcome, Drew. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on today.
You're back in Spokane, I take it?
Yeah, it's great. Weather's nice. It's good to be out of the Texas heat for sure.
Probably settled into your apartment. Are you living alone this year? Or do you have a roommate?
For now, we're all living in separate rooms in Kennedy just because of the quarantine process. But if things go back to normal, I'll be rooming with Anton and Marty, which will be cool.
All right. Well, we'll go back through last season a little bit. What's been happening since the season ended in March, the last 3 months. And then kind of take a look at next year coming up, who you got on the team and what you've been working on. But some of these will be repeat questions because we've talked a lot last year about some of these, but I think people would love to hear these stories that you have from your Richardson, Texas days. So, but first let's start out with how the heck did you become a Zag? Because you're coming halfway across the country. You had most of the big name teams, Arizona, Texas A&M, Louisville, Michigan State, I think was involved, Illinois, Arizona. How did you end up coming to Gonzaga?
Just the coaching staff and what the school had to offer was just something I felt like, for me personally, was the best fit. And I'm so happy I ended up coming here. I feel like it's been the best situation for me personally.
A couple of these, like I said, we're going to repeat. We'll throw you some curveballs in here too, just to have some fun.
Love.
The first one is the story about the fire that you and your teammates were coming back from. I think after a playoff win, you're driving fairly close to home, maybe 10 minutes or so, and you get the smell of strong smoke in the air from a fire. So take us through what happened after that.
Yeah, man, it's just smoke covering the road on our way home to my house. And one of my friends just called the fire department and was like, we're not sure what this is or if it's anything, but there's a lot of smoke covering the road. And they asked for us to get the address. So I told them I would go drive over to where the source was to find the address to let them know. And it's kind of a little bit of a hectic scene there. There's, I think, an electrical fire. I'm not sure. It was in the back, so you couldn't see it from the front. But there was a kid walking in front of the door just kind of in shock, and went up and grabbed him, woke their mom up, and there's another kid in there that was able to kind of make their way to the door. And two of my friends went out around back to get the father because I don't think he realized how bad the situation was. But it was great that we got everyone out of there safely, and the fire department was there so quickly.
You talked about you kind of like to talk on the court. That's one of your things, and you've done that for several years. I'm kind of curious, are you planning on being more talkative this year or less talkative this year?
I think I'm going to stay the exact same, maybe a little more, but I don't ever plan on to stop talking anytime soon.
The season you guys had, obviously 31-2, probably going to be a number one seed had the tournament gone on. What can you say about some of the guys you probably learned from practice-wise? Guys like Killian Tilly and Philip Petrushev. What kind of influence did those guys have on you as a freshman coming in?
They had a huge influence. They've all been where I've been in, coming into a new program with a lot to learn and a big pressure on your shoulders being a Gonzaga big man. And they just they really helped me and taught me the little things and would pull me to the side when I messed up concepts or systems and just tell me and show me kind of how to do it. And without them, I don't think I would be as good today, because they really helped me a lot, and I'm very appreciative of what they did.
You're a Texan, so I'm guessing you've got a pretty good grip on barbecue. What have you found up in Spokane? What's your favorite spot?
I forgot. There's this one place Coach Few caters from that I forgot the name, but it's really good. I like it a lot.
What is Texas style barbecue? What is it?
Oh man, it's just, I can't even explain it. It's just you just got to try it. It's different.
Let's go back to March. You guys take care of business in Vegas. You beat St. Mary's to win the conference title. I think that was March 10th or so, somewhere in there. By March 11th, the NCAA was announced that the tournament would go on, no fans. That's a big deal because you guys were all but assured of playing at home, or at least in Spokane at the arena for the opening weekend. And one day later, the whole tournament gets scrapped because of COVID-19. Take us into the meeting when you guys, you probably heard before the meeting, but take us into that meeting. You've got some seniors that were done. They wouldn't have another chance to play again. Wouldn't have a chance to go to the tournament and try to win an NCAA title. What was it like, being in that meeting and hearing that news and the reactions that you saw?
It was crushing, and it's something I'll never forget. I mean, I'm fortunate in this situation in the sense that I'm a freshman and I have more years to come. But guys like Admon, Nico, and Tilly, it's bittersweet, man. It was sad to see them so hurt and just everything they've put in and all the passion and hard work we've all been through as a team. We felt like we could have gone all the way this year and won it all. I mean, we were a really tight-knit group, and it kind of took a blow out of all of us. But we understood the greater message, and obviously people's lives are way more important than a game of basketball, and we understood that even though it hurt.
Then comes the quarantine. Then comes the virtual classes, I think, started up. The workouts weren't allowed. I think you weren't able to get into the gyms at all. When did you go back to Texas, and what were the restrictions like in Texas? I think they were a little bit looser than, or at least lately, they've been a little bit looser than around the country.
Yeah, I went back, I'd say I went back for a week after it got canceled for the spring break, and then I was going to come back up and kind of see how the restrictions up here would go and stuff. And they pretty much shut everything down. So I moved out and went back home, I think 3 weeks after the news. And, it was nice being able to be home and be back with my family for so long. My dad and brother and I were working out front. We have an outdoor court, so we were going at it. It was fun, like the good old days. But Texas, the last 3 or 4 weeks I was there, went completely open again.
Wow.
So I was able to get in the gym and even play pickup a couple of weeks before I actually came up here, which was nice, which is really nice.
Yeah. So what was kind of your workout schedule? Could you do any lifting and conditioning, or was it more basketball related?
It was more basketball related. Trav sent us workouts that we could do at home without weights, which was nice. And I had some bands lying around the home, so he was able to send stuff based on what we had, which was huge to be able to continue to gain strength in the off season, which is a key part and key focus for me personally.
I imagine your family games are pretty good. Your dad played at SMU, if I remember right.
Yes,
Younger
sir.
brother played at Richardson. He's a pretty good player, if I remember right. Is he still in high school, or has he moved on?
Yeah, he's going to be a senior, and he's a hell of a player. It was honestly great getting to go against him again, because it's amazing how much better he's gotten since I've been gone and how much bigger and stronger he's gotten. He's going to be a really good player this year.
So what do you guys do? 21? Do you do 1-on-2? How do you play it?
Well, so we have 2 hoops, so we just play one-on-one back and forth. If you get a stop, you go to the other end. So it's a nice little conditioning piece, 2 ends.
How far is the court? What do you got, 60, 80 feet?
I think it's close to regulation. It's not as wide as the real court, but it's a circle drive, so it's pretty big. It's pretty long.
You told me last year, we talked about this, that Jermaine O'Neal, the former NBA player, long career in the NBA, a big, worked with you a lot, coached you with a AAU team out of Dallas. Have you been able to get into the gym with him? I don't know if his facility is open there or not. Have you been able to work out with Jermaine?
I actually have not. His facility opened up by the time I was getting ready to come back up here. But we kept in touch, and I'd kind of tell him what I was doing and ask him just little things to work on. And he was a great help in just being able to kind of guide me through these times, this different situation we're in.
Now, most players go into an off season with some certain things they want to work on. For some, they want to get bigger, stronger, gain weight. For others, they want to lean out. They want to improve their mobility. What are you working on from the physical end? And then what are you working on from on-court skill end? What are you trying to get better at in those areas?
The physical end, I'm trying to get stronger. When I came in, I lost a bunch of weight, and now it's just trying to get more weight, but the good weight, to get stronger. And I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job of that right now. I feel stronger, more athletic. So I'm excited about that. Travis has done a really good job. And then on the basketball side, just being able to step out consistently and shoot threes. I've been hammering that a lot as of late. And also just my ball handling, keeping it tight and good, bring it up the court myself, start the break, So I would say those 2 main things are areas I'm really looking to just improve in dramatically.
What was your favorite road trip place to play last year? And what game on this year's schedule are you looking forward to?
I think last year at San Francisco was my favorite road trip. It was the first game that I started in, and it was just kind of an exciting moment. I was pretty nervous. I had butterflies all up in my stomach, and fortunately, we were able to pull it out, and it was just a great memory, and it's just something I'll never forget. And then I would say coming up next year, I don't know if there's one particular game or opponent that sticks out. We have one of the toughest non-conference schedules in America. So, everyone can bring it. But I think playing in Texas, where I'll be back home and get to see all my friends will get to see me play, and I'll get to see them, is going to be exciting because I don't get to see them that much, which will be fun.
How much are you able to do right now at Gonzaga? I think it's pretty limited, right? The coaches can't work with you much, and then kind of strength and conditioning.
Yeah, we are able in small groups to go in the weight room. We get checked for temperatures, and we have to wear masks going in the building and sanitize before we can actually weight lift, and we have to socially distance in the weight room. Mm-hmm. And then we're allowed to shoot by ourselves at one at each hoop by ourselves for an hour. And I'm sorry, I kind of cramped there almost.
You must have got a workout in today.
Yeah, we were working out this morning, so in the weight room, so legs are a little sore.
Not much going on in college basketball other than some light workouts, but the Zags are still kind of in the news all the time with recruiting, scheduling, but even beyond that, I think this possibility of being the preseason #1 next year, if everybody returns. What is that like from your end to have that target on you, and probably from the get-go to have that #1 target on you going into the season?
Yeah, we don't buy into rankings much because it only matters what you do in March, but we definitely like that target on our back. We want everyone's best shot. We want to leave no doubt that, because we believe that we are the best team, and we believe that this year will be special for us again if we can just get together and kind of rekindle that chemistry and momentum we had going into last year. So we're confident, and we're excited for this year. We think it's going to be a big one. You
were generally the first big off the bench last year with Phillip and Tilly when he was healthy. Anton started some when Tilly was hurt and not able to go. But you played quite a bit. You were in the 20-minute range. And like I said, I think your stats measured up with Domantas Sabonis, with Adam Morrison, with you know the names that other than Elias Harris, who was just freakishly good as a freshman. I think he was 14-7. You were right around 10-6. That went right with those other guys. But I thought the biggest thing for you was the improvement through the year. You started, played well early, obviously, because you got a lot of playing time. But foul trouble would get in the way. I think as the year went on, you got so much better defensively, so much more comfortable offensively. What do you think changed and kept the fouls down and kept you on the court improving?
Yeah, I think just constant film sessions and just kind of being thrown in the fire really helped me adjust on the fly to the game. It definitely took me a minute to get comfortable and kind of figure out what I could do to best benefit the team. And, that goes back to kind of what you said about Tilly and Phillip just being so influential to me. They really helped me, especially with Tilly, battling injuries so much. He really just kind of mentored me and helped me a lot. And I think with that, combined with all how much the coaches all helped me, it really helped me just kind of take off.
You've got Phillip is declared for the draft. Hasn't decided, from at least what I know, hasn't decided if he's going to stay in or come back. Anton's coming back from a shoulder injury. I think he's pretty much on the mend, maybe not full speed, but I think would be expected to be ready to go when the drills open up later in the fall. What's your role going to be this year? Do you think it'll be similar? Do you think it changes? I would imagine you'll be asked to do more leadership things as well.
Mm-hmm. To be honest, I have no idea what my role is going to be. But I'm ready to take on whatever role coach sees fit for me, and I want to. I'll do whatever as long as we get wins at the end of the day. But I do think leadership is some area I'm going to need to step up in, and also kind of take the reins up a little bit with Tilly leaving. I think Corey's a great leader, and I think I could just kind of help him a little bit.
We'll throw one off the wall here at you. 20-10 last year at St. Mary's, which is a pretty tough place to play. And they had a nice team. They've got a pretty good set of at least starting five that they had last year.
Mm-hmm.
What happened that day? What'd you have for breakfast? What happened that day?
My mom was there. She's my good luck charm. So she was at the game, and just knowing that she's there, it's just special to me, and I like to make the most of that. So it's all her.
Without being able to practice the way a normal college off season would go leading up to the season, it might be a month or two more even before you get to that stage. But a team that has a lot of experience, if those guys come back, then you throw Anton and yourself. Arlo has some experience. A grad transfer guard coming in. Would Gonzaga be a little better positioned to deal with kind of this world's weird circumstances of COVID, influence on practice time and all that, just because you have so much experience, or does it just take that much time to get everybody on the same page?
I think experience will help, and everybody's dealing with the same situation, so I think with our veterans, we'll be able to transition quicker, hopefully. And our coaches are great whenever they're allowed to kind of come back, and really guide and help us more. I think that we'll hit the ground running. So I'm looking forward to that.
A lot of us don't get to see much of Pavel Zakharov. Umar Ballo had to redshirt last year academically by NCAA rule. But these guys, I think, are going to be factors this year, obviously. You go against them all the time. I know Umar is a mountain of a man, a big, strong kid, young kid. He might be 18, remember right. Give us a scouting report on Pavel and Umar.
They are great, strong players. They've improved a lot since they've gotten here. The amount of growth they've had over the past years it's been exponential, and I can't wait to play alongside them, really. And I think it's going to be a fun year, and it's going to be a difficult task for other teams to deal with the size that we have.
You got to play at Texas A&M last year. Actually thumped them pretty good, I think by about 30 in their building. They recruited you pretty heavily, if I remember right. Was Texas kind of the same situation? Did they recruit you the way Texas A&M did, or is this a different deal?
Yeah, they did. Texas recruited me pretty hard, but I didn't feel the same connection I did with A&M, so Texas wasn't as high on my radar as A&M was.
Let's go through this schedule. I think by now a lot of people know all the marquee games that are coming up.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of starts out with Texas early on. Then I think USC, it's the likely opponent at the PK Invitational in Portland. You've got then just a string of games. Orlando, which could end up being teams like Auburn, Xavier, Michigan State.
Yep.
And doesn't get any easier. Then it's Washington, Arizona, Tennessee in Madison Square Garden, Texas Tech, which a lot of Zag fans are looking forward to because of a couple of years ago. I know that was before your time. So, but anyway, that schedule.
All my Tech,
ahead,
I heard that I can't wait to play Texas Tech again.
What do you make of that collection of games? A lot of people wonder about the WCC and how tough it is on the Zags to go through the league. But that non-conference schedule, that should get you prepared for whatever you could see later in the year.
I mean, that's the main reason a bunch of guys come here. I know it's the reason why I came here. Playing here, you get put on a national schedule, and you better come prepared to play, because if not, you're going to get your butt kicked. So we love it. I love it. We want to play the best because we believe that we are the best, and the only way to prove that you're the best is to beat the best. And we're really looking forward to our schedule. And make no mistake about the WCC. It is a hard, tough conference. Anybody can beat anybody, and you got to bring your A game. You get everyone's best shot every night, and it's a tough conference. I know a lot of teams are up on the rise too in the conference and starting to get more prominent, and we're definitely looking forward to facing each and every one of them because it's going to be tough for us.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, that was one of the best years the WCC has had.
Mm-hmm.
BYU is going to be a top 5-ish seed. I think St. Mary's would have been in as an 8. And the rest of the teams, there was not a lot of picnics out there when you went into their gyms or even at
Yep.
McCarthy. We're getting close to the end here. I'll ask you a few questions from folks who have tuned in to watch. So my eyes are going to my phone here. Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
All right. What do you think this is from Hayden. What was the part of your game that you think improved the most last year during your freshman year?
I think just my patience and being able to read the game. The game kind of slowed down for me. At first, when I got the ball in my hands, I was kind of spazzing a little bit, like I have this read, I got to do this and that. But everything kind of just clicked, and I think that was the biggest improvement for me.
Rhonda wants to know, how have you liked living in Spokane?
I love it. It's way different than Dallas. I love the weather. I really love playing in the snow like a little kid, especially on the holidays. It's nice. It's something I didn't get to experience much, so I love it up here a lot.
What kind of heat have you had down in Texas lately?
Man, about a week before I left, I was getting up in the hundreds, and that humidity was hitting. I'm glad I came up here when I did, because it was getting pretty bad again.
This is from Matt. Which of the other big men on the team is toughest to score on and hardest to defend?
All of us. All of them. We all go against each other so much every day last year. We all know each other pretty well, so it's a fun challenge trying to come up with new stuff to score on each other, because it's all so hard.
From James, not me. What is your favorite game shoe?
Game shoe. I love playing in the Freaks. Giannis's shoe. They're lightweight and yeah, they're just really comfy for me.
All right, one more from somebody that will go nameless here, but I know who he is. Are you aware Dick Vitale went crazy about you in the WCC title game?
Yeah, it was kind of crazy to have my phone blow up the way it did after the game. You know, I didn't know about it until we got on the bus, really, and it was cool. Someone like that, you know, was such a supporter and just gave me so much praise. It's something I'll always carry with me because he's such a great basketball mind and commentator. It meant a lot to me.
Drew, thanks for the time. Wish you good luck this season, and we'll see you soon. But we'll send it back to Christy.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
go Zags. I mean, I love this with the insight into GU off season and all the training that you've had to do and moving back up from Texas. Thank you for letting us watch in on that. All of our videos, these discussions are archived on our video site, which you can access for free. We could sell tickets, but we don't. If you feel compelled to buy a ticket, take that cash, instead make a contribution to the Community Journalism and Civic Engagement Fund via the Anovia Foundation. We appreciate your support. But Jim, thank you again for bringing Drew to our virtual forum today. It was great.